What's going on, people? This is the Bear here, and I'm just gonna talk about something today that you know I haven't made a video on, but I'm just gonna talk about it today, and it needs to really, it needs to really be said because I don't believe in pre-orders anymore. I used to when I was playing WWE Raw vs SmackDown. Every year I would pre-order, like Madden. Every year I would pre-order, and I knew this. I noticed a trend. Knew this. I noticed there was a trend going on with these pre-orders. You know, and it's a lot of people on YouTube has seen the same thing that has happened with games nowadays. It's not like the games back then when you had Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 and things like that. You had complete games back then, you know. And now it's not that way anymore with these games and all the high tech stuff and all the what the developers have to make in these games, you know what I'm saying? And I understand all the time that it takes to make these games and and try to get the resolution right and things like that. But I believe a lot of these gaming companies now are basically pushing games out, and they're not taking the time to actually, um, you know, to actually study the game and play the game before they launch the game. I think they're really just more pushing it out, just trying to make every dime they can get, and that's wrong on a lot of levels because pre-orders, there's a lot of companies now that are basically saying when you pre-order a game, you get the DLC, you get all the DLC and whatnot on day one, instead of paying, an extra price, whatever the case may be. Even though if you didn't get the DLC on day one and stuff like that, you'll be paying the extra price later on down the line for the DLC. But they're saying if you get the pre-order at launch, with the DLC, you may pay an extra $20 or something dollars. But if you wanted the DLC later on down the line, you would pay for it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really giving people a bargain when it comes to saying that you're gonna get this and that when the game comes out. I know a lot of people like to get skins, and like when Black Ops 3 come out, I know that people are going to pre-order because they like to get those kind of skins and all these different guns and whatnot and things like that. But it shouldn't be a requirement for you to get this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, an extra gun or an extra skin is not really going to change the aspects of the game. It's not going to really change anything much. You're just getting something extra, you know, and it's to me, I have when it comes to Black Ops and DLC and stuff like that at launch and stuff like that. I'm not really into that kind of thing. You know, I don't pre-order much. I'll wait for a review to come out, and then like IGN and GameSpot, things like that. Metacritic. I'm a type of person that I'll wait for a pre-order before I go and buy any kind of DLC. I'm not gonna pay for pre-order on the game and the game is all messed up even though you got all this DLC, because that there just doesn't make sense by itself. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna give me all this DLC, you're gonna tell me you're gonna get this and that, but then when I play the game it's barely playable. you know um it's a shame that a lot of companies are doing this to their consumers. I know a lot of people now, that statistics are showing now that a lot of people doesn't really pre-order. They're waiting for reviews to come out. And I did a video about that a while ago about that you should wait for you should wait for people's reviews before doing pre-orders or even before buying the game. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in that. I still believe in that today. I am not going to change what I think about um, people who pre-order games. You know what I'm saying? It's if you're not going to get a complete game at launch, even though you have all this DLC, it's not worth buying the game. Wait for the patches to come out, wait for the reviews to come out, and then you go and make your decision on if you want this game or not, if it's good enough to play. Because another thing about that when it comes out to these games is that trailers lie. When you watch a trailer or something like that, you get snippets of what's good in the game. But when you actually play the game, it's not really all that good. So even if you went and pre-ordered, even if you went and got all this DLC and stuff like that, if you don't like the game, you don't like the game, you're going to send the game back. you know. But these companies' job is basically to make a game good enough so that you can go and buy the game by giving you snippets, little pieces of what's good in the game, you know. And but it's wrong for consumers when they buy it, you know. You're not gonna, I don't understand with the gaming companies, because basically if the game is not good enough, they're gonna send the game back. So why even give people all of these, these little pieces of what's good in the game, just for these gamers to, just for the gamers to go back to GameStop and get their money back, I just never understood that, but I know companies are, they're doing that nowadays, and they're paying a lot for marketing. They're hoping to get 2, 3, 4 times back than what they got. I mean, for instance, and I'm gonna throw Bungie under the bus a little bit. When Destiny came out, before Destiny came out, the people at Bungie was talking about how much they spent on this game. They spent like over $200 million, and they was expecting to get 2, 3, 4 times that back, But Destiny back then, when you first played Destiny, the year one players like me, when you first played Destiny was pretty good for a while. It was really good, but it started to get boring, especially the story missions. It was very boring, but I still don't see if Bungie even got their money back, to $200 million that they spent on Bungie. I don't even know if they still got that back, but, with the Tekken King and the House of Wolves expansion, you know what I'm saying? You boosted the gameplay up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But not, IGN gave the Tekken King a 9.0, and I can't disagree with that. It's much better than the House of Wolves, and it's much better than the Dark Below, especially the Dark Below. The Dark Below was horrible, but after a while, after a week or so, you're going back to doing the same thing, playing strikes and playing dailies, and then after that, you really don't want to play the game anymore, at least in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But, pre-orders can really, and I think I did pre-order Destiny last year, and I was pretty disappointed. Matter of fact, I did pre-order Destiny last year, and I was disappointed, that the game wasn't to my expectations, especially from a company like Bungie, and you just playing like Halo or something like that. You expect a lot of the Halo elements, and within the Halo series, what I'm saying, the Halo 3 and Halo 4 and stuff like that, you expecting a lot of the Halo elements to be in Bungie, and Destiny, coming from a company like Bungie, but that didn't happen, They didn't really do what they had in Halo into Destiny. I'm expecting Destiny to be an exciting game, and it wasn't. So it was pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing. But this year I think I'm only going to pre-order Fallout 4, and that's really about it. I mean, Halo 5, Star Wars Battlefront, Rainbow Six Siege, which I had a lot of potential Rainbow Six Fallout, Rainbow Six Siege and all. But playing the beta, oh my goodness, what a train wreck. There's another game coming out. I can't think of. I said, let me see, Halo 5, Star Wars Battlefront, Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3. I don't know. I might get it, but at the same time, it's looking like Titanfall all over again. So I don't know. And I might just get that Fallout because out of those other games, I really just want to play Fallout. That's it. I might get Halo 5 because that it looks pretty good. It does, you know. But about me, when it comes to games, I like playing story missions. You know, the Xbox 360 version of a lot of these games do not have story missions. You go straight to multiplayer. That's it. You know, I like a good story. So I know Black Ops 3 for the Xbox One is going to have a story. But Rainbow Six, I don't think if that's going to have a story at all, you know. And they should have had it. They should have had one. You had it on Rainbow Six, the first one. Then you had it on Rainbow Six 2. So I don't know. But let me get back to what I'm saying. You know, pre-orders are, you know, gaming companies shouldn't be really lying to their customers. You know, you shouldn't be lying, you know, and having all these trailers and having these trailers look good. And then when you get the game, then it's like you might get a day one patch, but then you might have to wait a week for a day one patch. You know what I'm saying? So in the meantime, when you got the game and then you send it home and you're playing it, you're actually playing a broken game and waiting for a patch to come and hoping that, you know, the patch is good enough. You know, let me mention another game, by the way, Witcher 3. Okay, Witcher 3 had a massive, for the Xbox One, they had a massive, I think it was a 4 or 5 gigabyte patch, you know, but you still couldn't get every single, there was still, even after the patch, there's still a lot of glitches that I have seen in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, that's a problem with games nowadays. You know, even if you have a patch, they still haven't fixed everything that needed to be fixed within the game. You know, and that needs to be addressed a lot more in these games nowadays, because then a lot of people will basically they lose hope for you. You know, they'll lose hope in the games that you push out to customers. You know, when you don't have these patches that you know need to be addressed, you see them, you see the bugs and all that, but you circle around the little things. You know, but those little glitches and bugs, they still matter, you know, to me anyway. So, so pre-orders could be a problem for games. And, you know, I still would tell people still today, wait for reviews and stuff like that, you know. Oops. I'm just basically, hold on. I'm going to get the Fallout. Sorry about that, y'all. It was on mute for a little bit. Fallout 4 I will pre-order, but that's the only game. Matter of fact, that's the only game this year that I will pre-order. I haven't pre-ordered any other game since last year's Destiny. You know, so anyway, this video is long enough, and I'm rambling on. So yeah, so look out for the pre-orders, y'all, because you know, like I said, companies does fool people, and that's what they pay to do. That's what they're paying, you know, to get y'all to like a game and to buy a game. But you know, when you get it, you might be disappointed. So, all right, so this the Bear, and I'm out, and I'll probably be doing some more videos down the week. All right, peace.